So imagine that you have this car, this old school toy, which has this wind up key. You wind up the car, you set it on the ground, and it starts moving. So tell me which one of the cars will travel faster? The one with a wound up spring full of energy, or the one which has a spring which is already extended, already expended? Well, obviously, the car which has a wound up spring full of energy is the one which is going to go faster. It's also the one which is going to go further. You can think of your dopamine systems, your reward systems in exactly that same way. When you wake up in the morning, that spring is compressed, it's ready to go. But you get to decide on what activities you spend that energy on. I'm going to explain this in a way that you've probably never seen before. This is the dopamine slope. It's one of the most interesting and useful things I can teach you today. The way it works is there's some activities which are dopamine loading. They compress the spring and give you the energy. There's also some activities which are dopamine expending. They're dopamine depleting. They extend the spring and waste your energy. Let me give you a riddle to solve. What is the most boring activity that you can possibly do? What is the least stimulating activity that you can possibly do? In other words, what is the most dopamine loading activity that you can do? Actually, it's sleep. Think about it. For 8 hours straight, you're literally doing nothing, consuming no stimulation whatsoever. It's just that it doesn't feel boring because you're literally asleep. So this is why sleep loads dopamine, because it's literally the most boring activity that you can possibly do. So I'm going to put sleep up top as the most dopamine loading, least stimulating activity. On the far extreme of this is something like pornography use, highly overstimulating, right? It literally hijacks our biological circuits and our need to reproduce, which is one of the highest fundamental biological needs for a human being or any living species, and perverts it against us. And for that reason, something like pornography would actually be one of the most stimulating activities, one of the most depleting activities that we can possibly do. Now that's the spectrum. That is the spectrum. Sleep being the most boring and pornography being one of the most stimulating activities. Everything else falls within a spectrum within this. So something like YouTube Shorts or TikTok Shorts would fall here. Something like video games, I think, will fall somewhere here. For me, I enjoy exercise. For me, exercise will fall here. Play would fall here, and the work itself, which is actually the topic of this video, will fit somewhere over here. It is not as stimulating as exercise or shorts or video games. And if you remember, when I was giving you this explanation, I said that it's always easier to go downhill than climb uphill. Let me make this real for you. How many times have you woken up in the morning, you're fully dopamine loaded, ready to go, but one of the first things you do is go all the way and watch some shorts on your phone? Well, the thing is, once you do this, it's going to be an uphill battle, quite literally, to go and work because you're going against the grain, you're going against the slope of dopamine. Instead, what you could have done is just immediately gone to work. So the question becomes, how do you load dopamine? And the answer is by doing boring stuff, the stuff which is not stimulating at all. The less stimulating an activity is, the more dopamine it's going to load.